Welcome to the Gals Guide podcast. Join us on an adventure to get to know famous and infamous women from around the world. Each of our presenters has a pick. Is she ancient history? Is she breaking news? Is she safe for work? Well, that's up to each presenter. All we know is that...
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Welcome back. I am Leah, and I am joined by Katie and Bonnie and Debbie, and we are spending a year focusing on personal and collective well-being by learning from women of history. This month's theme is financial health and security, and Bonnie already talked about Catherine Dexter McCormick. But before I share my pick, I want to ask a question about well-being. I want to know, and it's a very difficult question, what does true financial independence mean to you, and how has it shaped your self-respect and your decision-making power? Deep questions.
Oh, I know, and that's like 3 or 4 deep questions bundled into one deep question bomb, right?
It's true. Or it's a turducken.
Right?
Of deep question. Yeah, this is true.
It's been awkward for me because I've been so up the feminist butthole that I am I'm gonna pay for my own stuff. Mm-hmm. When I was living with the man who's now my husband, I'm like, we're splitting everything 50-50. He would ask me questions, oh, do you think it's okay if I buy whatever? I'm like, it's your money. You do what you want. I don't care.
True financial independence right there.
I'm
yes.
So it's been weird, being married. And, we still have our own separate accounts. We've adjusted stuff because he makes quite a bit more than me. So it's not quite 50-50 anymore. Mm-hmm. And, it's weird. We have a health savings account now. And I'm I'm the only one using it. He's just done it.
One day.
And then, we just got a car. None of it was my money. It's our money, but it's not really our money. It's his money that was spent for the car. And it's awkward. And I still have not adjusted.
So, yeah.
And it's weird. It's definitely just my own little weirdness. It's not like he's you because I bought you a van.
He's not pushing it on you.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No, he's oh, it's our van. It's so cute. Yeah. But I'm it's a little awkward.
Right, exactly. Yes, you're dancing the dance together and figuring out how and what that looks like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally fair. So, in progress.
Yes.
Yeah.
Katie, Debbie, what about you?
I'd say I'm a little the opposite of Bonnie because I went to college very financially dependent on my parents. And I was very grateful I was able to be that way because they were able to provide, my college for me and my room and board at college. And then shortly out of college, I married Jonah's dad, and we just really combined our finances. Mm-hmm. So, we had one account together, so that kind of felt like our money. And he generally made more money than me. And so I didn't have that, sense of this is my own money that belongs to me and I've made it and I have control over it. But then we got divorced. And at the time we got divorced, I was a stay-at-home mom. Mm-hmm. So it definitely was very, very stressful, that transition period of separating bank accounts and trying to make sure I had money during that transition piece and getting a job. But then it was really awesome to have that period of time where I was in control of all my finances. Scary, but awesome.
It was yours, but it was terrifying. That's fair. Yeah.
But it was mine. And it definitely, you learn some lessons. Mm-hmm. In our divorce, I took on all of our credit card debt because I had the better credit, so it was in my name, and I didn't trust him to actually make the payments.
Because it could ruin your credit then.
Right. So here I am starting out with control of my own money, my own job and all of that, but also paying down a tremendous amount of debt
Yeah.
So now, now I'm like, nope, I don't have credit cards anymore. I live on what's in my bank account. It's not always pretty. And I know the buck stops there, right? I don't have any pretend money that's going to bail me out.
The Monopoly money is not going to help.
The Monopoly money is gone. Yeah. And I'm married again, and we do keep separate accounts.
Yeah.
And it's not like I demand that or he demands that. It's just, we moved in together. We had separate accounts and we've maintained it. And, we've talked about starting a joint one for household stuff, but we've never really gotten around to it. But it's interesting. Like, I think personally, financial stuff, I have to experience it to learn it.
Yeah.
I know there's all kinds of wise people you can learn from, you can read online, you can whatever, but I kind of have to go through it and learn from it.
Yeah.
Is kind of been how it is for me personally with money.
Yeah, that's absolutely fair. It is one of those things you should learn from experience.
Learn from experience. I kind of lost my train of thought, but I'm, I could share more, but I'm not sure it would benefit anybody because I would not come to me with your financial questions, people.
Right. Right. Exactly.
I get by.
Exactly. Making it work in progress. Yes.
Yeah. I am so excited for the day. We keep talking about we're going to eventually get a joint credit card just so we can put all the household expenses on a thing.
Yeah.
And I am no, I'm excited to get the joint credit card. And then when we go out to eat, I just lay down the credit card. That's the joint account. I'm like, oh no, let me get this.
Right, exactly.
Ooh, Bonnie, you kind of made me think of what I was going to say. Nice. Maybe this is a bonus question for another episode. But I've always been weird. It was especially because I didn't do a ton of dating before I met Jonah's dad. But I've never been able to let a man pay for my dinner on a date, especially an early date. But even sometimes when we've been dating for a while, I'm always I'll get my part, you get your part.
Yeah.
Because I always feel like there's a potential expectation, or if somebody buys you something, then for some people they feel like you owe them something.
Oh yeah, been in that situation.
You owe them a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah. I just usually say that's you paid for dinner, you didn't pay for anything else.
Correct. Yeah.
And maybe they just don't have that confidence or didn't. But now, after I've heard other people talking about going to nice restaurants and dining for free and stuff, I'm like, gosh darn it, I did it wrong. I could have had so many free meals, and here I am insisting on paying for my half. Right. And while I was paying down credit cards, what is wrong with me?
This is the learning from experience.
Yep.
Yeah, but now I'm married. I'm never going to get any free dinners. I just want free mozzarella sticks like Tina Fey and 30 Rock.
Be a lady who lunches. So as a lady who lunches and networks, there is this. Are you picking up this one? Do you want me to pick up this one you got next? There's still a way, hun.
Yeah. There's also signing up. Yeah, there's also signing up for every birthday club known to man so that you can get free
food on your birthday.
Birthday month.
Nice.
Nah, I just got to go back to dating.
Or
Josh is just going to have to understand.
This is strictly for the free meals, hun. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Just kidding. Debbie, how about you?
Well, this is embarrassing to say because, I'm the financial person. I'm the bookkeeper.
It's totally fine. We don't expect everybody to have their shit together no matter what their career.
Finances are weird.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
It's been really weird. This was my third marriage, and my first husband quit his job 2 weeks after we got married. My second husband never did work.
Gotcha.
So then I married a man who had a job.
What's this like?
Third time's the
I
charm.
know, it's very different. But it's also the first time I had to marry a mortgage.
Oh.
So,
yeah, okay. That's
hard.
Fair. Yeah.
So for me, but, when I think about financial independence, honestly,
you want it? You want it real bad?
It involves things like selling the house and living in the camper and, traveling the mobile life. I'm way too much of a hippie. I
know.
Really am.
But we love it about you. It makes you happy. We can feel it in you. Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, when you were talking about men paying for dates, that's the advantage to being older, because I was in a generation where men just paid,
Mm-hmm.
and so when I first started dating, men just paid, and it was weird when all of a sudden they're like, "Well, it's your turn, right?" And I'm like, "No."
We didn't talk about this.
Yeah. Eventually, I got to where I was paying my own way, in on dates, because I got tired of saying all you bought was dinner.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is
Yeah.
true.
but it was nice while it lasted.
Yeah. Came with a perk.
And I was always the one that, you know, a lot of women marry rich men to get the nice dinners.
Sure.
I drove crappy cars. I dated mechanics.
Yes. I kind of think
So
that's
they
smarter.
kept my car running.
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm. Smarts. I like it. I like it. For me, I come at it from a different angle on the true independence when it comes to money, because I think money gives you options to make smarter choices, including time. If you have money, sometimes that buys you time to make smarter decisions. You don't have to get the first thing you see or the thing you can afford or whatever poor choice. I came to this realization, believe it or not, with bookcases. Duh, me, bookcases. So, like, we have tons of books in our personal library. We had way too many books. And so, but the bookcases that were going to be, yeah, I know, right? The bookcases that were going to last through moves, that were going to store the books, that weren't going to fall apart, all of that stuff cost more than we could ever afford for a quality bookcase that would last forever. So we had to buy the shitty bookcases. You know what I mean? The Walmarts, the Targets, the ones that are cheapy, that fall apart if you move them once. So it was that thing of, if you have true financial independence, you can make better choices that will actually save you money in the long haul. But if you're a poor ass bitch, you buy the shitty bookcase and it breaks right away. Like, it's just like, it's not fair. And it's that stupid triangle of, you can have it fast, cheap, or good, and you can only have 2 out of the 3, right? And so you can never have all 3 of those fast, cheap, and good parts. So it's just having that money independence. I've also noticed that when you have a little bit of savings and you make a smarter choice, suddenly, like, more money will suddenly appear. Like, it's the weirdest thing that money will sometimes make more money, but not having money makes less money. Like, it's a magnet for or reverse. It's stupid. It's some kind of wizardry that I'm still trying to understand. But that's I just want the independent, because I hate the idea of money ruling my choices. I want to have enough money so I can make the choice that makes the most sense for me and my family. That's all I want, is to be able to make that choice. So that does kind of lead me into my gal. So who I have picked for you for Financial Health and Security Month, I have the first Black woman to establish a bank in the United States. So, yay!
Nice.
She was also the first Black woman to be president of that said bank.
Nice.
Also in the United States. So not only did she establish it, she ran that shit.
Yeah, she should.
Exactly, right? So I have for you Maggie Lena Walker and her bank, the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank, that is located in Richmond, Virginia. So we're going to talk a lot about Virginia. And I'm going second this month because her birthday is right around the release of this episode. So she was born July 15th, 1864. So we're talking a ways back, and yet establishing a bank.
Wow.
So her mother was a former enslaved woman who worked as a cook, and Maggie's birth father was an Irish journalist. There is a strong chance that these two met at the house of Elizabeth Van Loo. It just sounds like a murder mystery party. The house of Elizabeth Van Loo. Elizabeth was an abolitionist and also a spy for the Union during the Civil War. So she sounds interesting. but I didn't dig in too much to the lady who owned the house. There's no documents that support that Maggie's birth parents ever got married, actually. But soon after Maggie was born, her mom did marry William Mitchell, who was a butler at that same house, the Elizabeth Van Loo Mystery House. That's just what I'm going to call it.
It does sound like a very interesting and mysterious house.
It also sounds like a dating house. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like she was a cook and she had a child through a journalist who just kind of came through the house, and now the butlers just happen to be available for marriage. It's just interesting.
Yeah.
So a few years later into Maggie's new stepfather got a job as a head waiter at the St. Charles. And so this hotel has a complicated history. Like when I read about it, it says the prestigious St. Charles Hotel. However, the hotel was in the financial district. It was a slave trading hub, and it was also repurposed during the Confederacy for Confederate Civil War soldiers. So you say prestigious. I think what you mean is problematic.
Yeah.
However, being a head waiter at this complicated hotel, it did give the family financial stability, and they rented a small house of their own. But when Maggie was 11 years old, her stepfather's body was found in the James River. And her mother called it murder, and the police called it suicide. Yeah, and she was.
I know who I believe.
Yeah, thank you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mom.
Yeah.
100% mom knew, right? Because we're still talking about Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
Not too far away from the Civil War nests and stuff. So, yes.
I mean, I'd believe it in these days. So
right, exactly. I believe it in
True.
yesterday, right? That's fair. So, Maggie's mom started a laundry business, and she put her young daughter to work. Maggie actually said later in her life, quote, "I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth, but with a laundry basket practically on top of my head." So, to a laundry business that her mother started, she was in. She did go to public school, which was actually really rare for time and place, and also because she was a Black woman as well. But she became a teacher for a few years. And while she was working as a teacher, she was also a part-time insurance agent in the women's union, the WU. And she also took night classes in accounting at the same time that she was a teacher. But Maggie did have to quit teaching because she got married. Right? So in 1886, the school policy forbade the employment of married women. So she had to quit her job. She married Armistead Walker Jr. I do love the fanciness of this name. Armistead's family had a construction business and a bricklaying business. So the couple would have 4 kids together. They did have one son that died as an infant. They also had one daughter that was adopted as well. But before Maggie got married, in fact, while she was still teaching at school, she joined the Independent Order of St. Luke. And I read this as a secret society, and y'all know that I love a secret society. So what do you think the Independent Order of St. Luke did? What do you think was its mission or its secret? It's a wild guess. I don't think anybody's going to be right.
I'm not up on what all my saints are.
Right? St. Luke?
I wouldn't know what St. Luke's little area is.
He was a physician.
I know he's not the cat lady, because I know that there's the cat lady.
right.
She shares it with St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
So
yes, that's right. Yeah. Right. Okay.
I was gonna say hospital just because my lady has a lot of nuns running hospitals in my story. So
gotcha. In that kind of hospital place.
Just based on my story of my lady out. Yeah.
I'd say it's a food thing.
Think it's food? These are good guesses, because I was kind of surprised. I'm like going, oh. So the Independent Order of St. Luke was founded by Mary Prout In 1867, this is like 14 years before my gal like joined the thing. And it's an African American fraternal society whose purpose is to care for the sick and provide burial for the dead of the Black community. So it is medical, but it's burial rights. It's having a very meaningful and dignified burial for the Black community. So that is
awesome.
Their mission, right? I'm like, oh my gosh. So now again, I love secret societies. I don't know if I've made it clear ever that I love secret societies. So what is super interesting to me about this one, besides what its mission is, it was women only when it started. And I'm like, really? Because I love a women only.
All those little women's clubs back in the day.
They're so fun. Now, this one, only a few years after it started, a dude got mad that he couldn't be included. So there was a Richmond branch that was set up. It was then nearly run into the ground before the dude went to jump ship because he feared its financial collapse. But I'll come back to that in a second.
It sounds like the dudes wanted him in their club either. So he thought he would just join the women's club. And they were like, no.
Wow.
Maybe. Or women can't run this. And then, oops, I can't run it either.
I was going to say, it sounds like you just joined it.
Right? Yeah. Well, starting in 1904, Maggie and her family lived in what was known as the Harlem of the South. It was Jackson Ward neighborhood, and it was home to many African American businesses. So now I'll get back to secret society time. So the Order of St. Luke is about to claim bankruptcy, right? It's like the eve of bankruptciness. Yeah. And Maggie is elected as the Grand Secretary of the organization. Spoilers, she will claim this position until her death, which is in many years.
Wow.
Secretary.
Nice.
Grand
Secretary.
Secretary with a tiara.
Right, exactly. So when she's elected, she had already been in the society for 16 years. So she came with ideas. She had a whole map of how she was going to turn everything around. So this is actually from the Encyclopedia of Virginia. I do love how they worded it. It said, under Walker's guidance, the Independent Order of St. Luke's fortune were completely reversed. Although she inherited an order that was deep in deficit, over 25 years of her leadership, it collected nearly $3.5 million and claimed 100,000 members in 24 states. It built up almost $100,000 in reserves. On August 20th, 1901, that's the time period we're talking about of this $3.5 million, she delivered a now famous speech before the Independent Order of St. Luke Council, in which she declared her vision was to take the organization to greater heights by creating a conglomerate, a bank chartered and operated by the order's members, a newspaper to herald the good news of the order, and a department store run by Black employees and geared towards Black consumers with goods that they wanted at an affordable price to all of those white retailers. And it was through this consolidation of communication, money, and industry that the African American community could become economically independent, mobilized, and self-sustaining. And within 5 years, she did all of it.
Wow.
Dang.
So she started a bank that she ran. She started a newspaper, and she started a department store.
Nice.
So the newspaper was first. So in 1902, the start of the St. Luke Herald was the first one. Then the next year, 1903, was the opening of the bank, the St. Luke Penny Savings Bank. I was going to say bank and trust, but it's just a bank. And then less than 2 years after the bank was the opening of the St. Luke Emporium, right? The mall.
Nice. An emporium, no less.
I do love the word emporium.
Are any of these buildings still standing?
I'm not sure. They are not still in their same function, but whether or not they are still standing.
Like you could go tour them or something?
I know that her home is a museum. So
Okay,
definitely
nice.
her home
Her
is still
home.
preserved. It is through through national parks is actually
Nice.
her
Okay.
home at least.
Very cool.
Yep. So she said for the bank, I love this quote. She said, "Let's put our monies together. Let's use our monies. Let's put our monies to usher others among ourselves and to reap benefit for ourselves. Let us have a bank where we take nickels and we turn them into dollars."
Nice.
Wow.
Cute.
I like
She's not
it.
even going to turn them into quarters. She's going straight to
Yeah.
dollars.
I was
Exactly.
waiting for the dime to
A
drop. And I was
lady,
like,
a lady with
dollar.
ambition.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I like it.
So she talked to young people and she encouraged them to open bank accounts and to grow their money so that they would achieve economic independence from white employers. That was the idea. That was super important. And that was rarely said in this time
Yeah.
period and stuff, but it's super important. So Maggie's work increased Black home ownership in Richmond. And during the Great Depression, when so many banks were failing, she merged her bank with two other banks and created the Consolidated Bank and Trust. And for a long time,
Wow.
that was what Maggie Lena Walker built. She built the oldest bank in the U.S. continuously run by African Americans. And it wasn't until 2005 that was no longer the case. So it was eventually in 2005 sold to a white-owned holding company whose name is kind of uncomfortably Abigail Adams National Bancorp.
Ew.
Oh,
So,
ouch.
yay, still female, thanks.
Yeah.
However, and not necessarily female owned, but definitely white owned. But it's got
Yeah.
Abigail Adams' name. It's like, oh, I mean, she was Remember the Ladies, and then
Yeah.
buying a historical bank. Yeah,
Oh.
it's very awkward, isn't it? But I couldn't leave it out because it's a historical woman of history. Name, anyway. This is in name.
Mhm.
This is not probably has nothing
Yeah.
whatsoever to do with actually Abigail Adams.
On the other hand, if the bank was where it needed to be bought out,
Yeah,
better that than
just folding.
Citicorp.
Yeah.
Or, yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
One of the Chase financials or, yeah.
Yeah.
That's right before the 2007, 2008 stuff.
Yeah.
So are
it is.
they even
Yeah.
still around?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I didn't look to see if it was, if the
Yeah.
Abigail Adams was still in operation. They could have folded under the recession too. We've only had a couple of those since
Yeah.
2005.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, there is more on Maggie's life. It starts to get really complicated. It also starts to do less and less with financial stuff. But there is more, including her being a wheelchair user. She did a good number of work for wheelchair users in the state of Virginia. She also had to deal with obstacles with Virginia legislative separating financial institutions from fraternal societies, secret societies, right? So it's kind of that separation of church and state, that commerce and church entity. She had to deal with that in 1910. I did want to dig into it, and I didn't have time to know, were they just coming after a black successful empire around that same time of like Tulsa? You know what I'm saying? Like, were they trying to make legislation specifically in Virginia to destroy what she was building? But she did navigate that and she did survive that, but it was complicated, and it's legislator stuff of which I start to roll my eyes going, she is also the co-founding member of the Richmond chapter of the NAACP. She helped organize the 1904 boycott of Richmond's segregated seating in streetcars. So before the Rosa Parks and around the I.W. Wells time too, of where streetcars were having segregated seating. She also ran for office. She knew she was gonna lose, but she ran for office. She ran for governor.
Governor, nice.
Right? Why not?
Wow.
Forget about mayor. Go for governor. I love it.
Yeah.
Exactly. I thought it was wonderfully ambitious. And another thing is like going, she doesn't make it, but it's a fun story. So the part of her legacy is that her house on East Lee Street is a National Historic Site. There's also a college prep and a high school that is named after her too. So the Maggie Lena Walker. So I encourage people to, if you find any of this interesting, especially if you are in like finance history or Black history, there are many more places that you can learn stuff. There's a few books that are out there about her. Most of the books are for young readers. So it's just going to be, you know what I mean, the bullet points, and it's going to be about her bank history. But there is one that I would like to find one day. I will mention it. I could only find it for $100 if I could find it. It's one of those rare books. But it's called Right Worthy Grand Mission, Maggie Lena Walker and the Quest for Black Economic Empowerment. The title alone sounds amazing. The description of how they're talking, why they're talking about her and how they're talking about her is amazing. So I'm just putting that out into the universe. I'm sure I will find it in one way, shape, or form one of these days. And if somebody else finds it, get it. Tell me how it is. But I figured for now, knowing how amazing this Black woman who built a bank for financial independence for African Americans, I just thought it's a happy thought, right? So yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just going to share that.
I like it.
Exactly. Any questions about Maggie? Dun, dun, dun.
I'm sitting here the whole time waiting for Madam C.J. Walker to pop up, because I know she wasn't born in Indianapolis.
Yeah.
But we here in Indy know her and at least claim her a little bit, like how everybody claims Abraham Lincoln. I think she was also in, is it St. Louis, I think?
Yes.
She went to after
St. Louis, Colorado for a while, and then New York for a bit. Yeah.
So she could have been in Virginia on her way to New York.
This is very true. I'd have to look at time periods. I wonder if they you know what I mean, cross paths sort of thing. So it very much feels like that right time period. I do love that. Should I wrap it up for us?
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. She sounds incredible story.
She sounds fun. She's more than just a bank. I knew her as a bank, and I'm like, I want to know her more than just a bank.
Yeah.
So that wraps it up for us this week. Join the Gals Guide podcast next week as we learn more financial health and security. Thanks for listening. That's another woven thread into our personal and collective well-being tapestry. If you loved learning about women's history or are looking for some self-care, discover even more community and care at galsguide.org. Until next time, keep sharing women's stories.